This is Raven Dana, and thanks for joining me here at Walking Between the Worlds today. I want to take a few minutes and just talk about the upcoming weekend in which we celebrate the Goddess Brigid, or if you're from a Christian tradition, St.Brigid. So it's also the festival of Imbolc, I-M-B-O-L-C. So let me talk a little bit about that. I think it's important because at this time of year, and of course with what's happening around the country right now, to be able to focus on a powerful figure that brings the light to bear, that is for regeneration and renewal, is a very lovely thing for us to do. And I think that is an actionable thing. It's something that we can lean into with our intention and with our words. So I'll tell you a little bit about the Goddess Brigid and St. Brigid if you don't know who she is. First of all, she is a fire goddess. So she is known not only for the flame and the eternal flame, but for the cycle of life and death, for renewal, for regeneration. One of her animals is in fact the snake. And again, it's, the year of the snake. So it goes along with the shedding of the old and the birthing of the new. One of the things that she is also known for is intuition and insight. So she is said to give creativity, to speak the words of poems to the bards and poets. She is known as a healing goddess, that her touch can restore balance to both mind and body. She is also known for her healing wells, and there are still wells today that are dedicated to Brigid, where people go for insight and for healing. And sometimes also just to gaze into the well, to receive information and insight. So she is the goddess of smith crafting, right? She's a smithy, and she's known to make both weapons and beautiful magical objects. So I think it's another really lovely image that we can have for ourselves for now. All right, fire and smithcraft. So this celebration occurs February 1st and 2nd. And we are also asked to do things like create a Brigid's cross. I'm sure that you've seen them. Unfortunately, I don't have one handy. But they are symbols of protection and balance. Another custom is that the night before, which would be today, to set out a scarf or a piece of fabric or even a strip of fabric or an article of clothing outside on a tree branch or on a bush for the goddess who is passing through the land tonight to bless. And that blessed fabric is then used for when you feel low, for when you're ill. It's for calming and healing. I think it's a lovely custom, and I think it's worth leaning into. She is known as the goddess of protection, and also the goddess of the small things, right? The just blossoming flower, the underdog, those who have been oppressed, those who have been short-suited. So this is another reason why I think it's important for us to think about the power of this goddess at this time in our culture and in our history. Rituals include very simple things like the lighting of a candle, or the cleaning out of the hearth and the lighting of a hearth fire, visiting blessed springs, or even visiting a well and just having a meditative time with the water. So again, balance. She represents both fire and water, which is, I think, unique in the stories of gods and goddesses. Crafting Brigid's crosses, you can use anything you wish. You can use grass, you can use straws, you can use raffia, and you can just use paper. You can cut strips of paper and build a Brigid's cross with that if you want. Again, a meditative event that gives you a sense of balance and protection, restoring yourself, fire, earth, air, and water to the center. So her essence lies, I'm going to read you something. Brigid's essence lies in her ability to bridge opposites, fire and water, creation and destruction, the physical and the spiritual. Her energy reminds us of the cycles of life, the importance of nurturing ourselves, our creative spark, and the land around us. Whether you honor her as a goddess, a saint, or both, Brigid offers a wellspring of inspiration to anyone seeking her. The cow is often associated with the Goddess Brigid, as again, it's a time of year when, for calving and for the sheep being born. The serpent is associated with Brigid, particularly for her healing abilities. And the swan. Brigid is sometimes associated with swans, which are considered not just symbols of beauty and grace, but messengers from the between worlds, messengers that glide on the surface of reality, and still so much is happening under the surface. So if you are called to swans or to cows or to sheep or to serpents, these are all symbols of Brigid. So light your own fire, right? Light your inner fire. Look deeply into your inner wellspring. I'm going to remind you that sometimes there's a lot of conversation about how dysfunction gets passed down, right? And how wounds of our ancestors are carried in our DNA. So I just want to tell you this thought for today. The gifts are also passed down. The gifts are carried in our DNA. Within you, there is the wisdom of our ancestors. Your ancestors are coded into your DNA, and they're woven into your nervous system. They have survived for thousands and thousands of years. Yes, they've had wounds and hard times, and they have survived. They know how to stay alive and to move forward and to recreate balance when balance has been lost. So that is the message I want to leave you today, to reach out over this weekend and perhaps use the image of Brigid or invoke Brigid, if that is that makes sense to you, to create and restore balance and to awaken within you your gifts, your intuitions, your insight, because they're all there. Okay, thanks for tuning in today. And I also want to let you know that on Sunday, February 2nd, I'm going to host a Zoom call, which will be a short ritual and blessing for Brigid. So if you would like to be included on that call and you want the link, please just email me, raven@stresswizardcoaching.com. Shoot me an email or respond to this video so I can get in touch with you, and I'll give you the link to that call. It's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. The little ritual will only last a half hour, but there will be time, a little time before and a little time after, for questions or conversations if you would like to join the call. Thank you for joining me at Walking Between the Worlds. Have a lovely weekend. Be well.